Good morning. This is Torah Moments. And yes, I'm early. I have a transportation issue, and so I have a friend picking me up a little bit later. So I want to get my program in while I could, because I think the idea of tension during the holidays is nuts. I want to tell you why. I say nuts quite a bit, don't I? Anyway, here's my sherry coffee. And see where. Here's my Lee cookie. I think we really get it all backwards nowadays. I mean, really, really backwards. I know parents who will give their kid a piece of paper and a pen and say, make a list. The moment you do that, you're kind of obligated. That's a little crazy. For several reasons. We began to teach them about greed. This is what I expect. And so you have to deliver. But I think it's far deeper than that. It's laziness on our part. Well, what do you want? All right. Then you go shopping for it. Where's the surprise? Where's the mystery of it all? Think about it for a moment. When's the last time you gave someone a gift for Hanukkah or Christmas that they didn't know was coming, but it's something you wanted them to have? And I think that's the big deal right there. What do I want you to have? What is important that I should give to you this? For an example, if you give them that pen and paper and they write down new car, that's kind of bad. That's big bucks. Anyway, but what do you want them to have? Because when they get in that car, they'll go straight out and do 100 miles an hour and kill themselves. They don't have the sense, the good sense. So I'm thinking lately, even more so, when I give a gift, what do I want that person to have as a keepsake, a remembrance of me? Imagine for a moment you wrap up your grandfather's pocket watch and you give that to your great-grandson. And that great-grandson looks at this old watch and goes, what's the deal? You get to tell them the whole story of how it was your grandfather's watch and your father's watch, and now it's been passed down to them. All of a sudden, they got an heirloom. They got something that reminds them who they are, where they're from. And they get to hear the story of the grandfather and their father, and so on and so forth. Think about it. When's the last time you gave a gift to somebody that you wanted them to have, for whatever purpose? People oftentimes will give books because they want to redirect some thinking. No, but seriously, let's take the idea that you have a computer nerd and you want to give that computer nerd a gift. Do you want to give them a new ID card? Do you want to really give them more RAM or a new monitor? Those things come and go. What do you want them to have? Instead, would you give them a fishing pole? Literally. And a note that says, on this day in June, we're going fishing. So don't plan anything. All right? Would you give them tickets to some type of ball game that you're going to go with them? Would you give them something that you want them to have? Or just something that they want? Think about it. Because the tension and the stress and the aggravation comes when we don't think through this. It doesn't have to be expensive. It has to be meaningful. And that's the big deal. I tell you what, you got a 15-year-old son. He's not interested in meaningful. He's interested in expensive. Until it's explained to him. Don't go crazy spending. Think your way through the season. So you give to people the things you want them to have. I want my sister to have this. I know my sister needs something. She might not know any. Needs, that's kind of a back and forth sort of thing. But let us give from the heart and not just from the wallet. Let's think about the people. Now, what's the greatest gift I can give anybody for Christmas to Hanukkah? An introduction to Yeshua, the Redeemer, the Master. That's right. I give them my time telling them the story. I'm serious about this. The idea that kids make lists, spouses make a list. You turn to your spouse and say, hey, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Hanukkah? What do you want for your birthday? Where is my part in all that? I ought to be giving from my heart, not from their list. You know, when the three wise men, they say there's three because there were three gifts. If they were Jewish, it'd been maybe six guys and they were going in on it with each other. But those wise men were not expected. And the gifts that they brought served function and purpose. Gold, myrrh, and frankincense. Spices. The gold. What do you think they used to go off to Egypt to get away from Herod? And then to come back on? The gold. The myrrh and the frankincense. Well, you look up a little bit on those and find out what they really mean. You see, I'm not going to give you all the answers. Let you do some research. Because once you do the research, you own it. Not because I said so, because you found the answer. God is so good. He really is. And the best thing we can do during these holidays is reflect God's goodness. And tell our people why. You know, my Jewish friends, give that little kid a Hanukkah, his first Hanukkah, and explain to him the great work of the Maccabees that God used the Maccabees for. That's a big deal. Another big deal, quite frankly, my Christian friends, is giving your kids a religious, spiritual gift. It might be a new Bible. Well, who wants a book? They will eventually. Especially if you sit down and say, I'll study with you for a whole year. And we'll go through this book together. Now, that only works if your grandchildren or children like you. Okay. But we want to give our children the things we want them to have. Because it's from our heart, then it's not from the world. Okay? That's my big whole story this morning. It's a quickie. But get rid of the tension. Then you have to step back and walk away. Take a long walk. Okay? But readjust your thinking. Readjust the way you respond. Do not let the holiday tension rob you of your joy. If you can't enjoy it, where's the value? Okay? So, right now, let me encourage you to hit the buttons. That's right. Like, share, follow, donate. Okay? And let me also encourage you to watch the program tonight as we discuss Hanukkah and what it really is all about. Okay? So, that's at 6 o'clock right here. And tomorrow is Ask the Rabbi Friday. So get your questions ready, and I'll be doing my best to take those things on. All right? Now for your blessing. May the Lord bless you and keep you and cause his face to shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious unto you and lift up his countenance to you. May give you peace. In Yeshua's name. Amen. Amen. Take good care. By his grace, we'll be back tomorrow.